When you think of walking in someone else's shoes, you think of putting yourself in their experiences, thinking about what they go through, other things that might be affecting their everyday life.
So to walk in someone's shoes means to be really part of their life, to be with them at the moment.
It shows you their challenges, it puts you in their position. You kind of go through what they go through.
To understand their burdens and their responsibilities and accept them as your own. That's how you can truly walk in someone else's shoes.
So the Waco Poverty Immersion simulation is a trip where students go with a group called Mission Waco, and they put together a simulation basically simulating how a homeless person would live an everyday life.
So I think it's to get us kind of out of our comfort zones and kind of understand what it's like to actually be one of those underprivileged people.
For one of our meals, we had to literally walk around Waco, and every different group experienced something entirely different, from like the kindness of others to the sheer harshness of some people.
Before we started the simulation, we had a chance to go meet some guys in one of the Mission Waco programs who were part of the drug and rehabilitation program at the Manna House, and we got to play basketball with them, and they shared their stories with us.
So one of the men from Manna House, he said he had been fighting an addiction, he had been in and out of prison, and he said that at times he would even go steal a little thing from a store just so he had a night in prison, just to get a warm meal and just to have a bed to sleep in.
At one point in time, had to give up our shoes or your own pieces of clothing and get new ones from a thrift store and wear those for the weekend.
When you're walking, you realize that they're not very comfortable, or they're not really what you like, but when you're homeless, you don't get those kinds of decisions. You have to give what you have, and you just have to deal with that.
I know that eventually I'm able to switch back to my normal shoes, but there are people out there who can't. And it just it hurt at times to really think about that.
I'd have to say it definitely affects how I go to my service site, which is the AIDS Resource Center, where I talk to people who have an annual budget way below the poverty line. At first I was afraid of going there, but at the same time, this experience, it actually has helped me understand a few of their challenges in their lives, and I'm really happy to serve there.
So what I learned from Waco was not to make any judgments on people you don't know. If you don't know their story, then you have no right to make any kind of assumptions.
From the moment I heard about the people at Manna House and they told us our stories, my whole, paradigm of how I saw other people or how I saw poor people completely shifted, because I realized that not everyone chooses this life. Not everyone's a drug addict because they messed up in high school or because they wanted to and they decided to do that with their life. Some people just haven't had a great opportunity from the start. So it's made me change how I view people, and to give people a chance. You can't be so quick to judge.
To walk in someone else's shoes? No one can truly walk in someone else's shoes, but we can have a taste of that. To walk in someone else's shoes would be to put on their burdens, put on their responsibilities, and accept them whole.